When you think of Germany, a few things come to mind. Lederhosens, World War II, armpit hair on women, and little mustaches. But what type of music do they listen to? Well, I've always assumed that they mainly listen to Alpine folk music and maybe polka. Okay, German people, don't get mad. All jokes aside, you'd associate German music with techno, Kraftwerk, ATB, Zed, but what's the hip-hop scene like in Germany? It exists, and one of the most ruthless, evil rappers ever, Dennis Kuspert, more commonly known as Deso Dogg, comes from Germany. Kuspert was born in Berlin on October 18, 1975. His father was from Ghana, and he was deported before Kuspert was born, and his mother was German. He moved around a lot growing up, and his mother started banging a U.S. Army officer. It's not uncommon to not get along with your mom's boyfriend. Being unhappy with your home situation can cause you to act out, which is exactly what happened. Kuspert claims to have been bullied a lot and often beat up as a kid due to being mixed race. He became a troublemaker who frequently went to juvenile detention and eventually prison. This is what a German prison looks like. It's rough. I mean, look how small that TV is. This is a German prison cell. In Manhattan, this would be a $1,500 a month apartment. While in and out of jail, he started rapping around 1995 with hardly any success. He just didn't quite have it, but people were optimistic about him. The first rappers to come out of Germany had Turkish heritage, and this community would embrace Deso. In 2002 was when he started going by Deso Dogg, but he couldn't avoid prison. Now, most of the things he got in trouble in, minor offenses, selling heroin, that type of thing. The set he was repping was the 36 Boys, and this is their logo. It's not bad, and this is the roughest, toughest gang in all of Germany. You got Andrew Tate's less successful cousin, then you got this guy. I don't know what he's on, but it's probably serious. The 36 Boys were involved with drug trafficking, robbery, extortion, arson, burglary, vandalism, and happy slapping. Now, happy slapping is when you assault a random person for the sole purpose of recording it on camera to show how hard you are. The 36 Boys are mostly of Turkish ancestry. Their rivals are the skinheads and the neo-Nazis. Usually the neo-Nazis targeted Turkish people living in Berlin. One incident in the 90s involved 5 Turks dying in the hands of the neo-Nazis. Deso Dogg would say, "I always fought for 36. I bled for 36. I was stabbed for 36. And after getting released from prison in 2007, he started working with several well-known rappers from Germany. And from 2006 to 2009, he released 3 albums and was able to live off being an underground rapper. Some of his music videos from that time have around 2 to 3 million views, many of the comments showing him support. And the highlight of his career was touring with DMX. Now, Deso, growing up around Turkish people, he always had an interest in Islam. In 2010, Deso would convert to Islam and pretty much ended his rap career, but he'd still make a different type of music here and there. Soon enough, he was radicalized by a group called The True Religion and changed his name to Abu Malik. I'm just going to keep calling him Deso. Deso attempted to sing nasheed, which is a traditional Arab type of music, and he started gaining a following for his nasheed music where he sang about jihad. In 2011, he'd post a video of him playing with weapons, so the German police raided his house and found several guns and ammunition. He was fined 1,800 euros, and they started investigating him on suspicion that he was an Islamist radical. He had several videos of him praising Osama bin Laden. Some of Deso's music influenced Arid Uka to assassinate 2 U.S. airmen stationed in Germany. He said he loved Deso's work and was a great fan of the singer. Now again, he was going by Abu Malik, and this was his album cover. He's wearing a shirt that says, "I'm Muslim, not terrorist," even though he praises terrorist. Soon Deso would become bro dogs with Muhammad Mahmoud, who was an Al-Qaeda affiliate. Deso has made several videos threatening to wage jihad in Germany. Before the authorities could get to him, he fled to Egypt, where he had firearm training in a militant camp. He traveled to Libya for even more training. And then finally, he settled in Syria to fight with the soldiers of the Levant. This was a movement to overthrow Syrian President Bashar Assad. The year was 2013. This is when ISIS had control over large areas of Syria and Iraq, and he described Syrians as warm-hearted and a lot nicer than German people. And he also believed that Muslims and non-Muslims should be separated. Now, some of you might not be familiar with ISIS. ISIS is a terrorist rebel group that wants to take over the world and implement Sharia law. They're anti-Christian, anti-Hindu, misogynistic, anti-Shia Muslim, and ISIS was responsible for a genocide of Yazidi people, killing over 5,000 of them, and ISIS had also killed about 1,000 Christians. Usually they cut their heads off and upload it to the internet, and I'm being dead serious. Because of standards and practices, I have to remind my subscribers that joining ISIS is bad, and you shouldn't do it. Yes, Deso was rolling with these fools, fighting in their battles, helping recruit more fighters from Europe. Deso had ambition to spread all the way to the United States and urge Muslims all over the world to come to Syria and fight for the Islamic State. At first, Deso just wanted to be separate from non-Muslims, but he changed his rhetoric to, "We should slaughter all non-Muslims," and most of the ISIS guys agreed. He was seen as an influential person in ISIS. Most members of ISIS didn't have the publicity that Deso had, and he helped them in video production, music, and propaganda. ISIS valued him because he had a name. He was a personality that had a following. Now, an FBI agent named Daniela Green was hired to investigate Deso. She communicated with him using Skype. She eventually used a second account to communicate with him secretly, and apparently they developed a relationship and he seduced her. She told the FBI that she was going to visit her family in Germany. Really, she was going to ISIS-occupied Syria to see Deso and to marry him. It's hard to get someone to come through if they live an hour away. Deso was able to convince a woman to travel halfway across the world to a war zone where they treat women like objects. I was expecting this girl to be not so easy on the eyes, but she actually looks kind of fine. What do you know? She regretted it. She started saying things like, "I don't know how long I can survive here," and after 2 months, she returned to the US. I was about to say, this woman is stupid and has some sort of borderline personality disorder. You know, us Americans are super naive about how twisted parts of the world can be. We're spoiled and we don't realize it. Another thing is, some females are attracted to danger. Ted Bundy used to get love letters, and this chicken probably had a danger fetish. After returning to the US, she went to jail for 2 years. There were videos of Deso holding severed heads and another one of him beating a dead body with the sandal. He had participated in several massacres, just living the ISIS lifestyle. The US Department of Defense was like, "Aight, we gotta take this guy out." And they started with one drone strike in Raqqa, Syria, where they believed he was. There were initial reports that he died, but apparently he survived. It's kinda strange. The last video of him to exist was back in 2015, where he was encouraging Russian people to join. He also released music in 2015 where he made a German cover of the Islamic State's anthem with lyrics like, "We want your blood, it tastes wonderful." He was eventually killed by Syrian Democratic Forces in 2018. ISIS lost pretty much all of its control of Syria and Iraq, and a lot of the Turkish rappers he collaborated with speak negatively about him, saying that his actions were unforgivable. My personal opinion, he converted to Islam in 2010, which is fine, and he got radicalized so quickly and was fighting for ISIS in 2013. More than anything, this man was attracted to the violence. He wanted to be a killer. He was in love with the gore. But what do you jits think? I'm out.